Headache or heart attack? Or computer issues? So you can run this in our catalog. Most of the data mining you want to do is catalog, because it takes too much time to display all the data for the whole county. You're only interested in one area. So okay, let's try this. Let's click here on clip. Takes a moment. Clip. Geoprocessing clip. And I strongly recommend everything you try new, go on show a help. Because the help on the side here, if you move this a little bit around, it tells you, hey, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to use my cookie cutter, could be a Christmas tree or center. And this is what I get. It doesn't get more easier in terms of displaying this process. Again, for everyone, because we're close to Christmas, dough, Christmas tree shaped cookie. Huh?
And the shape in this case is the small wrapper?
We're using a small wrapper. You can use anything you want. You can use a buffer. If you have a specific area of interest and you buffer around that, you can use that buffer area to cut through as a clip. All right, input feature. In this case, we put this on the side a little bit so you can drag and drop. Input feature is the BC clip. So instead of putting this in an ArcMap project, I'm going to put this in here. Then I have to decide on the clip feature. The clip feature is my cookie cutter. Well, the small wrapper is going to be my clip feature. And then I have to say, how do you want to call this? Right now it says BC clip, clip, clip. That's redundant, so we're going to call it just clip demo.
What are we doing right here, Professor?
I am going to put input features as the BC clip data from assignment 1. I'm going to use the clip cookie cutter from assignment 3, the small wrapper. Remember the little rectangle we had for mapping purposes?
And we want it on the assignment 1 data folder or just in the 3D one?
Let's do it in the 3D one. Good call.
But it's not showing up here for me to click it.
And call it clip demo.
So after you go through that, can you go through that process one more time, please?
Yes. All right. Let's hit OK first if you fail or not. So now at the bottom, you should see clip, 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 clip. Yeah? And do we get an acknowledgement? No. Let's do a refresh. What happened? All right. Results. Let's take a look at this. It's still clipping. See that? Send the hour clock. And it was successful. All right. For those who are doing geoprocessing a little bit more in depth, there is under geoprocessing a function called results. This is your log file. Whatever you do on your with your tools, it will log that. It will usually pop up as a window like this. Yeah? Sometimes if you do the toolbox, it's hiding within that same window. Give me a moment for the tools to load. Okay. Not responding. Okay, here. Actually, this one is showing it differently. Sometimes you have this here. Toolbox and results. Yeah? But if you look at this, it says current session. We executed the function clip, and it keeps all the information in there. Yeah? If I want to redo this, I just double click on the results. And all the input stuff is the same. I don't have to redo a complex form again. That helps, let's say, if something goes wrong with your buffers. You don't want to type in distance 1 mile, distance 2 miles, distance 3 miles, distance 4 miles. No, you just repeat the 2. It keeps that in memory as long as you run the sessions. All right, to rerun the clip tool from scratch, I can go through the toolbox
Do you need to pick one of the folders first?
on,
Do you need to pick one of the assignment 1 data or assignment 3 data to do the clip? No.
no, but I can open it because it's easier for drag and drop.
Okay.
Alright, there are two ways to, in our catalog to open up the clip tool. Geoprocessing, clip, that's one. Or you know where it's in the toolbox, you would go for analysis, extract, clip. Yeah? But as I mentioned earlier, it's always great to take a look at what kind of functions do you have. Do you need something maybe from that sometimes? Like say I have a personal connection to the near function. Just knowing that, let's say, you've seen point to line or mixed feature types, that you're here, and then there's a function that will find the distance to the next near feature. Just knowing that there is a function like this in the system can help you for solving a problem if you deal with proximities. And what are we doing in real estate? We're dealing with proximities. Where is the closest competitor? Where is the closest interstate ramp? Where is the closest supermarket? The closest park? I can use this to, in theory, calculate, hey, what are the mileage to my park? Or drive time, etc. Or go even more complex. So I do encourage you guys, with this class and after you're done with this class, take a look at these functions. There are some really weird things. I would doubt that you need to do schematics, but extract and proximity measures, fairly cool. Again, toolbox is very detailed and complex. That's the reason why we have now the most common geocoding tools, geoprocessing tools up here. And you're going to do this again. Clip, geoprocessing, clip. For the geoprocessing tool, I need to have an input feature, a clip feature to generate an output. Alright, Jarvis? For that, my input feature in this case is going to be BC clip or BG clip. That's a section we have from Broward County. I drag and drop this in here. I also can use manually browsing through my folder connections, 3D assignment 1 data, etc. If I have it all here already open and presented on the bladder, literally like a menu or face style, I can just drag and drop it. I do the small wrapper as my cutting tool, clip feature. And then I changed my name and my folder to 3D /, I call it clip 2 as a second demo. And hit OK. While I'm doing this, just for the purposes, you can see now again here, successful run, and the green checkbox here, successful run. If it doesn't successfully run, it will pop up here with red, an X, and here it will show an arrow. You will not see that hammer tool. I can't remember.
How did you name the clip?
Clip 2.
Demo?
Yeah. So if I look at these now, clip demo 1 or clip 2, both are the same. If I look at BC clip like this and this, you're like, yeah, I can't really compare them. Yeah, because you're looking at a subsample and our catalog is zooming in and out for you all the time. So let's open up ArcMap, just for visualization purposes. You're doing wonderful in time. So we're doing, this is the clip example, and then we do a little bit on the 3D stuff.
How do you know the clip function, if it worked?
Give you a
It
check.
popped up with a green checkbox.
No, so you have the X.
And you created a file. Yeah? Alright, let's do this. And what I'm going to do is, give me a moment. Let me give the whole class the whole thing, and then I come back to you. So I'm doing a bunch of drag and drops. Since it's not in one folder, I'm doing the BG clip in one. Yeah, that defines my projection. I'm going to put the small wrapper in, drag and drop it. See, now it tells me, hey, you have the wrong projection. I'm fine with this. And I'm going to use my clip 2 or the clip 1 demo, in this case, and put it in. Yeah? And if I want to make that nice, my small wrapper, hollow, thick outline, let's do deep blue, and put it on top. See that? If I say clip demo off and on, you can see, okay, there are 2 different layers now, but one is a subset. Okay, then I'm all used. Again, you literally went with a Christmas cookie cutter through the BG clip and cut out that little greenish area. Right. Wait a minute.
The clip didn't work.
Refresh. Click on 3D and refresh with F5. Oh, refresh. Okay. So now show me your tube processing results. Current session. Open it up. Show me the messages.
How did you do?
Cannot
create the outline?
file
Because
contains.
my outline is coming
It contains invalid characters.
All the
Yeah, so if you look at
subdivisions
the
are
whole
being
message,
outlined.
what's the, now you double click on the,
Outline with.
double click on
You
the,
did the one?
the fire opportunity. Yeah, you can't use that.
So
You can't use the minus sign or the spaces in between, it's too long.
Alright.
But see, now you don't have to fix all of it, just that portion.
Forgot maybe.
never know.
I didn't do it right.
Yeah, you have to close this.
I've done that before.
It's the warning sign for you're dealing with different football.
I need it. Ah,
Alright?
I just need to change it to.
It's also in the textbook. Beautiful, it's simple. Again, the help function with put the dough out, cut through it. It's exactly super easy. So that said, now imagine instead of having the whole county, yeah, which would be this large area. For training purpose of the class, I only had the block groups here as a clip, and now I even created a subsample inside that small wrapper. It's a clean cut. So if I would select this, give you the idea to what? Hey, Diego. You're going to be grounded from scuba activities. And shame on you pointing out that a fellow classmate fell asleep. To show you the differences between a clip and a selection. That was part of the online session, if I remember right. If I want to go in here and say I want to select by location everything that is touched or intersected by my small wrapper, I would do this. Select by location or proximity. I want to select all the features from my BG clip that are covered by or touched by the small wrapper. Intersect is the term for that. If I do that and hit apply, now I can see in highlight all the areas that are touched or intersected by my blue, dark blue wrapper. That is different from what I have as my clip. Yeah? Because my clip, if you zoom in, my clip ends here at that blue line. because this is where the cookie cutter, that knife went through. The complicated part is that that little corner here, that clipped corner has all the information of this big guy. If it's not maintained the right way with the data, with geodatabase, etc.
Tom, I'm sorry, you went a bit too fast when you got to that.
All right, select by location. Let's do this again. All right, I did just the outline. Okay, so just to dissect this. Small wrapper for visual purposes, thick blue line. Okay, catch. Small wrapper, thick blue line. This is the clip we did in greenish, and this is the original area we have.
You can do the size of the width.
So right now all you're looking at is my cutter is in green. Yeah? If I want to use the other tool I can deal with, I take select by location. Select by location is taking everything in relationship in space to me, or my object. I want to select all the computers that are within arm's length reach. 0. If I have a different location, 3 here, laptop, 4. I want to select all the computers in arm's reach, gives me that. I want to select all tables with coffee cups on them. That's select by attribute. Table equals coffee, owning coffee cup. I want to select all the computers that are within, or I want to select all students that are within 10 feet of Angelo. I get all view. I can combine that. I can say I want to select all students within 10 feet of Angelo wearing an orange shirt. Select by location now turns into a select by attribute because I have selections over selections. I get you. Yeah? So think about that power. Select by location gives you the space. Select by location gives you the, attribute gives you the depth of that tool then. Yeah? Davy 100. You selected what? The city of Davy and 100,000 square foot living, or 100, something like this, living space or something. Yeah? Or land value. I can now technically do that and say, hey, all these 14 items, I want to select all the McDonald's within 3 miles distance to them because I have the McDonald's data right next to it on the map. And make a selection process in the other direction as well. So again, I want to select by location, select the features from the BG area. My small wrapper is the tool that wants to select, and everything that touches right now will be highlighted. Because this is a rule here, intersect. And hit apply. In light blue, you see now all the selected block groups. Okay? But they extend outside of the wrapper. So for visualization purposes, if you want to show only data that is within that dark blue area, would you use select by location?
No.
No.
No. Well, what we can do now, to make this more extreme visually, this is a selection in BG clip. Hit OK. Now I can go right click, data, export, save data, and do save only the selection. Selected features. And put this in my 3D folder. And just call it selection. Shapefile. Alright, we'll do this one more time. I right click here, I have an active selection going on here. I right click on my BG clip, say data, export data to save my selection. And I say selected features and find the location where I want to save it, as in my E or jump drive, 3D, and change this here to shapefile. and call it selection. And hit save. Yeah, super simple. And it says, hey, do you want to edit? Say yes. All right.
It's not layer source that.
So they can't save it.
Yeah.
If you can't save it, try to save it somewhere else. Yep. Gotta put it in a folder. Didn't put it in the folder yet. Alright?
Export.
And then I click this guy here for clear selection. And rearrange a few things. I put the selection underneath the small wrapper and the clip demo. And get rid of BG clip. Like just unclick it. To show you that more extreme. In light green is my cookie being cut out with the small wrapper as a cookie cutter or clip feature. Yeah? In light blue underneath it is my result from my select by location using small wrapper. So depending on what's your purpose, how to use your GIS, you might want to use one or the other. Yeah? Or both in combination. Clip is cool because it has no dangles, no overlay, or like shoelaces all over the place. Yeah? It's clean along the line. Yeah? So if I would do a map overview of this area here, and I want to put that in my professional report, am I going to use the selection, or am I going to use the clip?
The clip.
I probably for visuals, this is a clean square.
What about the data?
Alright, what about
That's
the
the
data?
problem.
Good. What about the data? In clip demo, if I look here, I have a little bit information. Yeah? Population, etc. Let's do population example. We can actually do this without a table. Remember the identifier tool?
Yeah.
Alright? When I click on the identifier tool and go down here to the little extreme corner and click on identify, I can choose what I need to identify. If I do all visible layers, it will drill through everything down. If I click now or identify, it takes the wrapper, takes the clip demo and the selection. See that? This is this little corner here. Get rid of wrapper. Here, this little corner I'm clicking on. And it shows me for a clip demo, that little corner, take a look at total population, 12.8. Yeah? See how this flashes? If I go to selection, the picture still says in my table 12.8. Because I cut a piece away from it by shape, not by data.
That's the problem. Right?
That's the problem. Because if I want to map population now, do this visually. If I change my symbology, sorry, quantities, let's say population. Now you have to have the same symbology here, but just looking at the data, this is taking too much time if I change the symbology. This little corner, a little piece of dough you cut out, shows the full amount of population that is originally actually in this area. Gotta keep that in mind. Huh? Sometimes you have maps that show like you would write down here, you would actually put a small disclaimer in and say, okay, fine, the basic data management or data operations, data at the edges might be distorted.
Go into properties,
That could be something. But keep that in mind.
symbology, graduated code.
Don't want to mess around with this too much.
Top population.
Okay.
Huh? All right. Want to do something fun?
This is fine.
That's how you should use the location.
I can save that in our folder. As clip demo. So you guys can come back and visit. All right. And let's do a new one. And go to our catalog. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at the campus for class, GDB, and there's only one feature class inside, and that's campus. All right? For the time being, I'm not going to demonstrate how we did this, or I give you a quick rundown. I got my hands on all the building footprints in Broward County, but they didn't have height values in there. I got my hands on LiDAR data. Remember GIS Broward County? Just Google GIS Broward. GIS Broward County down here. Broward.
More down.
Just for a simple browser. Broward County Geographic Information Systems at gis.broward.org. Pop up that site. And scroll down. And there's a beautiful word called Download Center. And you get an idea of, there's a ton of stuff out there. Huh? So, a few things, you go to the appraiser's office, a few things you get actually for the Department of Revenue. So if you look for parcels for all, here we go, parcels. Yeah? It says it's available for a fee, but in the state of Florida, all county data, if you click through all this, it says here, our GIS parcel submission is available at no charge from the Florida Department of Revenue's webpage. If you do this and go along, internet is slow here. You come to this cryptic page. And you're gonna find this. You've got to look for GIS. It says text row on GIS data. A little bit complicated. And then go to GIS and mapping data files. Yeah? So you get the feeling, okay, this ArcGIS online stuff I pay for is a little bit more convenient. Because at the end, I'm also looking at, where's my window now? Old school FTP, file transfer protocol. So now, these are all the years I can download. These are all the counties I can download.
So the same data that's available for sale is also available for free?
Well, this one is for free. So you need to know which county, which area you're interested in. If you want to do work in all the counties in Florida, on the Department of Revenue webpage down here, there's an FTP site, you can download all the counties. The PIN is a parcel information network. Yeah? So you could go down here, find Broward, 670 megabytes. Click on this, download, unpack, boom, you have your parcels.
Download, unpack.
Extract. Huh? That's the complicated part for folks who are researching county-wide data. The less complicated part is you would be interested in, say, libraries, parks, future land use plan for Broward County. I have not looked at that file. I cannot guarantee that, let's say, the city of Fort Lauderdale is included. It says Broward County. Maybe they include it. Nursing homes, mobile homes, RV parks. Here you go, Angelo.
Oh, it's right here.
RV parks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah? State parks, streets, traffic analysis zones, depending on what you do.
Download that
And
sucker before I leave.
this is not all of it, but really cool stuff. Remember address points? We did that too. Huh? So this is just one of the many pages you can find and use and download data from. Yeah? And again, you download this, could be a GEO database, could be a shapefile. If it's a large shapefile, I strongly recommend to open your own GEO database and put it inside there, because it's faster. So I did this, got the building footprints, then I went to LiDAR data. LiDAR data of Broward County. LiDAR is really cool because it's like you fly an airplane, you shoot laser beams down, and then you measure the time of the return. So that gets you a complete overview on all the trees, all the building buildings. You even render air-conditioned units on top of the building. Yeah? It's computer intensive. It's not on a laptop. It's on the office machine. Don't display it here. And all of that done, I used random points. Remember the function random points? And every building here got 100 random points on top of that. Then I went into the LiDAR data and the surface of 3D, put for each point a measurement of the height, the surface. And then aggregated everything combined into table. The mean, the minimum, and the maximum of your C value in feet. Now you can see there's a 7-foot building. So small building or building footprint, 100 data points going against Earth from your LiDAR data, mean value done. That's the reason why we usually don't render that in a beginner's class, because it's a good half an hour work and a lot of mind blowing stuff. However, we have the mean value here. So what we can do now is we can make a map. Open up ArcMap. Mean as in average, not as behavior or attitude. Right? And just for simplification, I can drag and drop my campus rate into the map. Yeah?
So I'm removing everything else, right? We're still using
I'll start a new one. Alright. Or I can also add the base map here on the button here next to add data, base map. And just choose imagery whenever it pops up. This is so slow. That's network. That's not computers. Yeah, no, different projection. Different projection. Yeah. So these are most of the buildings from campus. Again, the training arena is not a building. That's the reason why it's blank here. And there might be one or two structures that are fairly new that they haven't been updated.
Tom, how'd you add the base map from there?
Yeah.
That's because it's a function we haven't shown you yet.
Come on, Tom.
Click on the plus.
An arrow.
On the plus?
Unknown next to it. There you
I keep saying explore, explore, explore. Huh? Alright, so I have building heights in there. So what would you do usually? You do, let's change categories, symbology, and say quantities and take the mean C value and do that there. So I can show the building heights based on color code. That's a little bit stupid, is it?
Yo.
Huh? Doesn't make sense. Alright? So why don't I do this in 3D?
I'm gonna use it
Alright? Alright, new tool. In the folder, Windows key, in the folder ArcGIS,
Yo. Why
there's
does
a
he do
tool
this every class?
called ArcScene. Huh? They might move that away in some time. It's an artifact from the so-called 3D analyst, but the new beta machines and engines to run this. But this is solid and does a wow effect in little time. All right, let me say blank scene. All right,
No, alright, no.
something we haven't seen yet, but it looks something like we have seen before. All right, ArcScene in Windows, ArcGIS, and then ArcScene down here. All right, so let's organize this a little bit next to each other. To make this really work, I need to check one thing. I go to Customize, Extensions, and I have to make sure that at least my 3D Analyst is activated. If you do this at home on your own computer, you might see 5 or 6 more extensions, because the student's home license is different from the licensing in this computer room. I paid a fair share of money for each of these. Yeah? I can actually click on both, that's fine. And usually it remembers that setting, but if you want to execute a function that's in Toolbox and it says you're not licensed for that, that's probably the reason for it. And hit OK. Alright, again, in Customize Extensions, make sure that the 2 extensions are enabled. And hit OK. Now, I right-click on my campus data. I just simply say copy.
And drop it into the thing.
Or you can drag and drop, doesn't work. Copy. And then copy it and paste it back into as a scene layer with paste layers. Like we would exchange this in different things. Do this. It takes a moment. And now it shows up as a plane in ArcScene. Again, with my mouse wheel, I can zoom in, zoom out. With my right-click mouse, I can do it as well. If I do both, I can shift it. There's a different way of navigating it. All right?
Yeah, I know. It's so good. I'm trying to just.
All right, so I can move this around a little bit, zoom in a little bit, move this around like this. So this is the library, this is the student union building, this is the library we're in, this is Heisinger School, this is the parking garage. All right.
You know your school.
So now you have this perspective view. Well, we know we have elevation data or building height, not elevation data, building height in there. Well, let's blow it up.
Let's blow it up.
Blow it up. You with me? Dara's like, yeah, let's blow it up. All right. Right click on campus weight. I say campus weight, it's actually campus width height. Huh? And hit properties. Something we have seen before, a little bit different, but channel, source, selection, display, symbology, that's stuff we have seen before. I want to go and click on extrusion.
Oh boy.
Extrusion is taking a 2D object, that's our footprint,
And making it 3D.
and blow it up. Like we do, what we're going to do is, remember those architectural, you're really excited about that. I like that. She's like cracking up. Like,
She's gonna be extruding
right.
at home.
So if I say extrude this layer, I'm basically building these block models in architecture. Huh? and I need to feed the information from the table. So I can say, hey, the mean value is mean C, and click OK. And I say, this is going to be using it as value that features are extruded to. You can see there's options here for apply. And I hit apply. I'm not done yet with this tool.
That's how you get the layer properties again?
Right click on it
Okay.
and hit apply. Oh yeah, boom, just bumped up a little bit. Yeah? Well, depending on what I'm looking for, if you do 3D or perspective modeling, you want to overscale it a little bit. Remember we did this in side planning, we did this loser side for the scale. Well, it doesn't really fit the scale yet. Yeah? So you can add some value to it. And this is experience and purpose. Let's say we want to actually show it in twice the factor and hit apply. And hit OK. That's good enough right now for me. Yeah? Now the cool part. With my mouse I can zoom in out. I can also change the color setting because the dark red is just depressing.
It's depressing.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, if I want to extrude or block diagram footprints, I go to properties, go to extrusion, activate extrusion, and use the field and the component like multiply now in scale 2. 1.5 is good as well. And the important part is I say using it as value that features are extruded to. So I cap it. Okay? So this is, alright. So now you can rotate this. Wait. D.
I'm just talking about my phone.
If you thought you're excited now,
For the love of D.
let's shoot you into the orbit. Alright. You think this is cool? But it's really boring to use the mouse all the time to move this around and zoom in now. Yeah? Right click on here on the toolbars. Here the gray area. See the different tools you're using? Activate animation. Alright?
Did you do that one more time?
And right click on toolbars, activate animation. Okay? Animation tool. Before we get into complicated part, this is a camera. It says capture the view.
Whoa.
So I'm going to capture the view. Click once, only once. Then I move my camera around, or my helicopter a little bit, and say capture view. I do this a little bit more around and say capture view. Now, I'm like, hey, I'm in a business school. I want to be closer to the business school. Mouse wheel in, move around a little bit, go really close. You can see this looks different from the business school, not as pretty, but it's good enough. I mouse and capture the view. I want to do a flyby. Flyby or fly through. So I'm actually going really close, even like this, a little bit higher over the Taft building. Click this, and then really brutal rotate out and zoom out. And capture the view. So if you have done that, remember the Polaroid pictures? Good old school, click, and takes a moment to develop. Well, you did just a series of Polaroid snapshot pictures. Yeah? Let's click this guy here. Animation controls. And click play.
Oh.
Zoom in, fly through, brutal zoom out. That's just with the snapshots. If you want to go nuts, you can do this in 5 seconds. First time I did animations like this, I had people saying they're getting motion sick.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, because right now you're looking only at the objects. You can download aerial photography, like you can't add a basement, but you could add actually an image right underneath there on campus, and then it distorts the image all the time. Yeah? If you want to go really nuts, this takes time depending on your machine, this is heavy on your graphic cards, you actually can create animation files where you actually have like almost like a flight path, like you would say, this is my flight plane flying via helicopter or drone over campus. Yeah? The only thing you needed to do this is a building footprint, the approximate height, yeah, and the 3D extension for ArcScene.
Okay, now how do we get all that?
It's on these machines.
No, no, no.
And the student's license contains that too.
No, I'm saying is how do we get the building footprints of a section of the city, or
gotta
how
go
do
to
we
your
get the
basement.
building height on a section of the
I
city?
could make the building footprints available for download. I don't have the building heights for outside of campus.
No, I understand. I'm just asking as a general question in the future if I want to do something like
Building
this.
footprints are available through the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Fort
And the whole set is actually Broward County. LiDAR data, you can download.
Lighter data.
LiDAR data, to process LiDAR data, you should have the 3D analyst extension and a powerful machine and some time. Basically run it and go and come back a day or two, depending on the size.
Can
I calculated from campus, downloaded the LiDAR data, the points plus minus 4 miles as a square, and I rendered 8 billion points to get the elevation model in overkill. You could do this with less, yeah, but I wanted to, if I show you the 3D model, the so-called TIN, the triangulated irregular network, which does like, looks like patterns, like, remember Jurassic Park, they did the texture of the dinosaurs, first the grid and then really the skin, similar system, yeah? You can do that. But you also can ask if a city has building footprints with height. They might actually have that, and you wait 2 business days and you get everything done, rather than just for a section you need.
Can you
What-
do that
let me-
online?
Yes, you can. I don't want to demo it because it's frustrating. You can do this. If you want to do this online, you have the data. Let me show you. If you want to do this online, you go to arcgis.com. And you have a function here called scene. Yeah? If you do scene, after you load the campus data as an example, you get all these different variations. Yeah? So, do I have... Oh wait, let me log in with the different account.
What do you do?
I actually have, maybe I have a different example. Maybe I still
This is
have.
crazy. This is awesome.
Right?
So there's predefined materials you can see here for Berlin, etc. You can import models, but I want to double check if I actually still have, let's see, oh yeah, here. This is the model I built with the last class. This is Cincinnati. Yeah? Now you can see Cincinnati in 3D. For folks from the site planning class, this is about the area for your site planning sketch. Yeah? Here, Rockwood Commons here. So this is Rockwood Commons existing part, this is your site planning sketch. Yeah?
Oh, I remember
Oh,
So if you rotate this, you have seen this view
yep,
just recently.
yep.
Yeah? So, part of my dissertation was a little bit south of this, Hyde Park in Cincinnati. And this is building footprints, selected. Yeah, this was the center. I selected, I think, 2 miles radius. And because I selected, this building got included. Difference between clip and selection. So, now I put this up and rotate this. But what is different here is all the buildings are the same height. Yeah? The building here is actually a 6-story high building, nicely shaped with a penthouse on top. You have seen this in other classes already, because this is when I talk about mixed-use development and how mixed-use development might be able to fail. You have a problem. These buildings here are 3 stories high. But in ArcScene, here on our scene viewer, on the online part, you only can build fixed levels per layer. You can add multiple layers if you do different levels. I can't adjust that for individuals. In ArcScene, I can. So in ArcScene, I can't change that. Yeah? Because now I have the different input levels and see that they're different heights. Yeah? That's one reason why I like ArcScene. Because I also could go in and say, hey, what else do I have in here? Do I have other attributes like a name? I can colorize by functions of the building or a block. Cool?
Cool.
All right. Let's take a look at our catalog. That's something called fun. Last exercise that we're doing individual projects. Yeah? If I look at fun, GDB,
Wait, I thought you were gonna
it
show
has
us
pointing
the-
points, UP fishnet, UP grid, and site plan large. If I click site plan
but wait a
large,
minute. I thought you were gonna show us the animation thing.
you have seen this. Oh yeah, Angela's like, Sue's like, oh hell.
Wait.
No, you haven't, no, you did not get that, right? We did the airport project. Oh, you got to check for that. Alright, so I can zoom in and out. This is a scan, actually a save as
Oh,
for your site plan.
this guy.
This guy, exactly. So what else do I see? I see UP grid, and UP fishnet, yeah? And the pointy points is empty because I deleted them last time. So let's build a map in ArcMap.
In ArcMap?
In ArcMap.
So get a note right
And what I need is, let's say, the UP grid, UP fishnet,
now. UP
and the site plan. And close up. Alright, let's make this look nice. I want to do the UP grid on top of everything, and maybe do a hello, sorry, and do purple because we only need it for exercise. And the UP fishnet. UP fishnet is going to be super cool because I'm going to change this to low color and keep it light gray. Huh? But the UP grid, put that in place, like the boundaries, maybe in purple, so like, maybe you're allergic to me or GIS, I don't know.
GIS.
GIS.
Yes! And then the UP grid is just to get our game plane there. You don't have to really put visualization on this, but if you look carefully, you see light gray going here, that's good enough. Yeah? And save this.
On the fishnet, you don't have any icon that shows any, was that hollow?
Hollow light gray.
Yeah, that's what
And I save this as UP map. Alright?
Save what?
Save the whole map as a UP map.
All over.
3D folder?
Yep. All right. Want to digitize a few things?
Yeah.
You have an idea where this is going?
Yeah.
Carlos like, yeah. D, you got an idea where this is going? All right, let's create a feature class called buildings. Here on the side, we can do this now. You guys know this already from our catalog, so let's do this here on the side in our catalog. In our fun GDB, let's create a, yeah, here, this is a catalog tab. Here on the side. You should. If not, click on this one here. We create a buildings layer, a new feature class, because we are in a database, and call it buildings. Alright? Type is a polygon, and click next. Monica, Danilo, are you cool with me?
I am following
I
you on the
can't even
screen.
drag the thing to the new ARC map. I started a whole new map and I can't drag our.
I had the same mistake. You have to press close on the ARC map because when you don't add it, doesn't let you drag. I had the same problem.
Yeah.
You have to close.
If you have error messages, you might want to
If you have like
activate that.
if you have a pop-up, it won't let you
Okay, so
drag.
I'm up to that point.
Alright, cool. I click up on the buildings for next.
How do you call the new feature class?
Right click, new feature class. Alright, so the difference between my laptop and this machine does not know my favorites. So right now, oops, oh, this is new. They patched it. Oh. Do you see layers?
No.
Huh, interesting. Alright, let's do this. Let's steal it. If I don't know exactly what kind of projection I have, I can import it. The way I import it is I click here on the little button called the globe and say import. And I go to my fun
You create the
GDB.
new feature class, yeah, that's it.
Alright. Right now I need to define a new coordinate system for my buildings. I click on this button here called add coordinate system. On the side, I say import. Pops up, will go to my fun GDB, and I'll click on UP Grid. Because that's my reference. I built all of that from UP Grid. And click OK. So now it will fill the North Atlantic datum, 1983, State Plane, Florida, East Phibs, 0901 feet. Remember when I told you projections are complicated? Hell yeah.
How come you were able to see layers, she's able to see layers, and some of us?
I don't know. Maybe your machine is not bad. I don't know. This is the first time I see this.
Okay.
Last night when I rebuilt this, or yesterday afternoon, I didn't see that. There's a new patch out there, but I don't know.
Okay.
Huh? This is cool because it actually has everything inside there.
Yeah.
What was the fun? What did you plug in first? What was the first layer you plugged in?
Agreed.
The UP grid.
Should have it. Interesting.
I may have shifted
But
around
this
that.
is the way you can import it too.
Okay.
You should keep it. Then you click next, and click next, and click next. Now, in our overview here, we want to create a field called name. Text 50 is fine. We want to create a field that's called height. Use double. Let's type. Double. Just a format of numbers. Not to go back and forth again, maybe you need something as stories. Because we can measure height as in stories or in floors or feet. Yeah? Everyone got that? The name field? You sure you?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Jeez. Name 50, fine as text, height, stories, both as doubles. Alright? And click finish.
Yeah.
Alright? So we have buildings here. Let's start digitizing. Save, 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 save. Let's start digitizing. How do we start digitizing? Well, we open up our editor with right click, editor toolbar. I move this guy out. Then I start an edit session. Again, you guys have deja vus. This is classroom session, assignment, now we're adding something new. The same tools we used the last 2 or 3 weeks are doing something new, cool stuff now. Alright?
So you gotta bring the building layers over there.
So,
It should.
in my active edit session, I'm using my Z Charlie key to move my map. I want to zoom in closer with the mouse wheel here on the YMCA. Alright? Like this close. I do now create a new feature in buildings, rectangle. If you don't have the create feature,
Stop editing.
you can actually find it here on the top in the edit tool. You should, because if you did you create buildings? Are you in an edit session?
My buildings are in, but nothing
Is that an edit
shows,
session?
right?
Where's your
Probably didn't
building?
change your,
No, your
do
building's
the
on the
outline
map.
to make it bold
Where's your building?
in the
But it should be
symbology.
green, right?
Yeah.
You want
You
to see?
didn't edit to the.
Where does it show?
So,
Buildings.
stop. Stop. Gotta have buildings in the map.
Oh, it's because
Yeah, if you create buildings, let's say somewhere in our catalog, you're gonna have buildings here in your arc map. Alright, everyone has that? Everyone has an active edit session? Alright, buildings?
I don't have buildings either.
I don't have any edit there.
Alright, let's open one. Start edit session. Here, start editing.
you start editing.
Alright. In buildings, I click on buildings, rectangle. Because I hope I did this right, that is pretty much in right angles. If I hover all over this place, you can see that snapping will highlight where I am. And will give you the UP fishnet edge or vertex. Yeah? To make it easier, I can even unclick the UP grid, because they're not perfectly aligned, they're a little bit off. But that's fine. So now I click here on the vertex here in the bottom. This is a complicated part because the YMCA is in 3D drawing in front of you. I click on the light gray of the fishnet. Here, see that?
Mine is not highlighted.
Maybe I have to do this in a more brutal color for you on the screen. Alright, this is my fishnet in red. I'm clicking here on that corner point. Once. I'm going down 4 blocks or fishnet blocks. Click on once on the vertex and move over to close it here.
Oh,
Got that?
Close that.
So the block plates for your Lego blocks
Yeah.
on that plan, I try to simulate those with the red lines with that fishnet. So if you know, hey, I have a building that is X blocks in size, I can do this now. Alright? So we close this and we are in an edit session. So I can right click and open the attribute table. And we just created a feature where we don't have a name yet, height, or story number. Well, name is YMCA.
Did you stop editing?
No, I'm
No.
fully in the edit session. And right now, let's make a rule of thumb, could be different, but for visualization, let's say 1 floor is 15 feet.
After you created the square for the YMCA, what did you do?
Double click it
Double click it?
to close it so it shows it highlighted. Alright? So now I'm going to say, YMCA, let's keep this guy on 30-foot height. Then maybe 2 stories. Again, these are ballpark numbers. This is tall. Huh? can zoom out and start my next one. With the C Charlie key, I'm moving my map. I can save my edit. So I actually save really my building. And let's do, as example, the homeless shelter. So I organize my map over the homeless shelter. Again, homeless shelter looks really weird because it's this perspective drawing. Yeah? But I know it's a 4x4 block. Yeah? Again, I do digitizing. Buildings, rectangle.
No, but what did he put? 30 and 2. 30.
Click here on the corner, go 4 blocks down, click on this, move over, double click, and I have approximately a 4x4 block. Alright?
Yeah.
If you have a large enough screen or even 2 screens, you can keep that window actually open at the table. Now I have here a feature that's highlighted, and that's my homeless shelter. Homeless shelter. Height, 30 foot, 2 stories, huh?
You good in it?
Yeah.
And save my edits. Move my map. I could do that again here for Victorian Road. Buildings, rectangle, Victorian Row is what? 4 by the whole block down. Double click, open the attribute table again, call it Victorian. Say, maybe this is 40 and 3 stories high. It's different, huh? And say editor, save edits.
How many stories? 3?
Yeah, 40 feet and 3 stories. Okay? Close the edit session. Stop at save edits. Stop editing. I want to show you the first next step, and then we build on this. All right? Everyone got 3 buildings? Alright, so what did we do with ArcScene? The campus. Well, I go to ArcScene, we say new, blank scene, and we don't have to save that. It's so easy to rebuild. And then in our UP map, let's start with little things. Site plan, copy, go to ArcScene and paste. And now I have my playground as a plane in 3D, and I can rotate it. I even can tilt it. Huh? So, in my UP map, I just did some buildings. I go and copy the building and put it in ArcScene layers, paste layer. Make sure that the buildings are on top of the site plan. You can drag and drop that. Yeah, drag and drop. So I zoom in. That's the same thing like we have with the campus map. We have two flat objects on top of each other. Well, how do we extrude those? We are going to add extrusion to it. Say right click, property, want to extrude, in extrusion. My value now is going to be my height. Yeah? And I say this is going to be using it as value that features are extruded to. Last option. And click OK. So that looks okay, but still a little bit weird. If this is representing 35 foot, remember, rule of thumb. Doesn't really fit the scale on the streets. So I change the extrusion again, and let's say add a factor. Let's try 2. Hit apply. Does this look okay to me? Yeah. Let's play with this. Yeah? So I can see the homeless shelter is a little bit more flat than my 3-story Victorian building. But that's really boring right now, the way it looks in the colors, is it? So, well, what do we do with colors? Well, we add them. Buildings, symbology, categories. Well, my value field name, I can add all the buildings by name as a category. Want me to repeat that? Standard thing we did all the time in 2D. I go to buildings, go to symbology, unique values for categories because it's building A, B, or C. And I activate homeless shelter Victorian with add values and click OK. Now this looks a little bit better. I can rotate this again. But maybe what I also want to play with is transparency. So I double click again on buildings and go to display and say 50% transparency. So now I have some see-through effect if I want that. Huh? Or I go back and say I'm perfectly fine with solid.
Drawing categories, you went too fast.
Alright, buildings, symbols, categories, unique value, name, and then just the type of name.
It's not dropping
Yeah,
down.
mine's not
Yeah,
coming
mine
up.
doesn't have it
Did you save your edits?
Yeah.
Just press all, add all values.
Properties.
Properties,
either. Okay.
categories,
Categories.
name, values, add all values.
Oh, add all.
Yep, gotta add those. And then click OK, apply, and it'll change the colors.
Thank you.
Alright,
President, throw some napkins and towels?
cool.
No,
Open up.
I didn't even do the correct thing, and it's a fine thing, 'cause I'm still
What about those luxury condominiums? What about those luxury condominiums? Alright, we gotta save the scene. Save. And we call it in our 3D folder. USB drive. We call it in our 3D folder UP3D, and it saves as the so-called arc scene document. And we close it after we save it. Just to make sure that we don't mess up our database, because the database is feeding both systems. Alright, so let's think about that. The luxury condominium is a building that is a parking structure and residential on top of it. Yeah? That's the reason why I want to present it, because you actually have to deal with 2 elements to deal with. Yeah? So let's say we are going to digitize the parking structure. For that, we are going to do editor, start editing. Buildings, rectangle. Super easy, huh? And we place it here at the corner. Again, it's a 4x4. We follow the edges here, the vertex of the UP fishnet. 4 to this area, and 4 down, and the moment we hit the grid point here, we double click. Again, this is not perfectly aligned. I'm not going to win a Nobel Prize for digitizing and transformation, but it's a really cool, helpful piece. All right, open up my attribute table. And in names, I'm calling that Lux Condo Parking. So now I have to figure out, I have the parking structure and I put actually the tower on top of that. For visualization purposes right now, to make our life easy, what we're doing is actually we built a parking structure and we put the tower through it. Yeah? To draw this. If you have the structure in a block from the side, this would be parking. And then in yellow, usually you would have the residential structure on top of it. Yeah? For visualization, step 1, we are going to have this guy residential completely going through. So we add this here to it. The reason why we're going to do this is because we actually visualize 2 objects as one. Because that's a fast and easy way to do it. For that, parking was 2 floors, will be 30 foot and 2 stories. Yeah? Save edits. It's super easy. Okay. Just relax and look at this right now. Alright, so next step is unselect. I'm doing my residential section, buildings, rectangle. Click on this one, click on half of it. That's the reason why I have my grid underneath it. And form this one here. Double click on it to close it and call it Lux Condo Residential. Lux Condo Residential. Alright, let's say this is typically what? 4 floors above parking, so there would be 6 floors. Let's say, let's name this 90 feet and 6 stories. Again, these are ballpark numbers. This is proposal or suggestions for the training exercise here. And close this, save all my edits, stop my edits. So I can, if I go now in and change the symbology for my buildings, same way I did this in the 3D scene, add all the values, you can see that there's an overlap. But right now what I'm looking at is I see the square from the top, and I have another structure here. But it actually has the data for this height and for this height. Alright? So we saved everything. Out of the edit session, save the UP map. And then in our 3D folder, there should be our 3D, UP 3D. And if I click on this guy now, I should see my condominium building. Or not. And the reason why I see it right now is because I have all other values in buildings activated. See that? All other values. If I want to have my color code for this building, I need to change this. Go to the symbology and add my values, Lux condo parking and residential. Then condo parking I will transform into dark gray or black. Let's do some 80% gray. Alright. My blue parking. Fill color. Okay. And a residential, let's do bright yellow. Yeah? And click OK. So this is something you see on your playground in a land use class. However, if you are really careful looking at this, you see the shading and overlap depending on the angle.
Yeah.
Because you built this inside that section here. That's the reason why you cause this rendering issue. If this is really an issue, you need to create these objects in a different way. I'll let that be for the purpose of class time. It's enough time spent. Alright, you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have all this. I close this out. I'll show you guys this one thing. I close this.
These 2 buildings, how did you do to it show up?
You're in discussion with your group, and you had it. Robert was a big pain, so you decide, okay, let's move this guy. Let's move this building, not Robert. I go into edit session, start editing,
Once you move it over here, go to the symbol.
go to select.
Yeah, but that's the problem, I'm not able.
One thing, you need to check your selections.
Okay,
You
now.
only want to select buildings, so you need to get rid of these guys. Yeah, only buildings. Let me move this
Where's
out.
the one that you say, one that actually says 3D map?
This is the complicated part.
Look it up.
Before you move this,
Open it again.
you make sure that you only can select buildings. This is easy here on this tab.
Where is
this
select?
list.
Out of here.
Then do manually
Just don't
select
Yeah.
these two guys. Now you can see I
No, that's not it.
selected a Lux condo, parking, and residential. I'm in an edit session, which means I can use the edit tool, the little one here, to use my selection and move it around. So now I don't like it anymore. I want to put this, let's say, here on the top. And you can see how it jumps and snaps to the grid underneath it. That's the reason why I have the fishnet grid. So I move this, save my edits, stop
Stay
my
behind,
edit
otherwise you
session,
fall behind.
open up my 3D session again.
It's supposed to be the
Now my building moved. No?
Can you do that one more time, please?
Alright. Let me finish the line of thought.
Okay, okay, okay.
Look at that, that's the button everyone was excited about. Capture view. Capture view. Capture view. And let's zoom into the corner. Capture view. Now I can run my animation. So if the campus was cool, now you have something you can export as a video for your presentations next week as a team, as an example. All right, how do I move a building? Well, it goes out, save. In an edit session here, if I want to move, again, this big condo, I go into an edit session. Then I select those guys. Make sure that I'm in the select mode here. Only buildings are selectable. If I have the fishnet selectable, I select by accident the fishnet and move it. I don't want that. Here, table of content, list by drawing order. We have seen this before. We have seen list by source when you geocode. Some people got confused. There are other additional pieces here. Selection helps you to coordinate which layer you want to select here. Click to toggle selectable. Fishnet, I don't want. So right now, selectable is only, oh sorry, fishnet. I want buildings. So I can select here, see, nothing happens. Nothing happens in fishnet. Only buildings are selectable. And it even shows me what I selected right now. But I need to make sure that I select both condo and parking. Yeah? And then with the edit tool, I just move this around. Let it snap to the network or the grid. Save. Yeah. And stop my edit session. There's one thing I forgot. Remember in catalog there was the pointy points? I drag and drop the pointy points in there. And go, just watch it. You don't have to follow this. It's fun. You can repeat this later. Start edit session, and in my create features, now I have pointy points. I didn't want to call it the way I want to use it for, so you get another aha effect. Pointy points. So wait, if I can digitize or geocode, the digitize pointy points. Well, why don't I do pointy points along here? And I'm going to put a point here, maybe here, here, and here. Maybe similar to this here. Move my map with pressing down the C button. That's good enough. And save my edits and stop editing. All right? And open up my 3D scene. And the reason why I close my 3D scene and open it up, all the changes I've made in the ArcMap are loading up and getting rebooted. Yeah? Reboot means we just moved the building. Yeah? But my pointy points are not there. Why? Because I did not put them into the scene yet. So I can add the data. Pointy points. Pointy points are showing up here. See that? So, why would I do pointy points? Because I want to add something to that scene. Like, I don't know, symbology. I'm in 3D. What do I have in 3D? I have dots in 3D. I have push buttons, building stuff.
Search.
Maybe you look at style references and look at, oh, street furniture, residential, trees, vehicles. Look, trees. Click on that. Takes a moment. Now I get a bunch of trees. I'm looking for the elm. Did I pass it? Elm?
Yeah.
I think you just search it up top, sir.
I can type for it as well. Elm was very nice, but now I go through it up here. American elm.
Nice.
And I played with this at home, so I know that a 35 will do great.
And it's white.
Wait.
Oh my God.
And I just created a so-called 3D screen. Wait, I have an animation running, don't I? Remember the last animation I did.
This is so cool.
Alright? So we have enough time to do some service support for projects. And about 10:02, I will leave this room with the idea that you use that little bit classroom time to maybe start your course evaluation since you're all here.
Where is it on the?
You should have received an email on that. Did you?
No.
You have not?
No.
Nobody got that?
Nope.
Oh, okay, fine. The moment you receive an email, please remind yourself that this is important for the university and your professor. No? Alright, let's save this, and I'm all yours for help and support.
You said that I need to talk to you about my ground project.
Yep, let's talk about that. Again, super easy. If you want to add a QMAT, it's the same thing. Digitize a QMAT in the size you need, put the parking structure next to it, and you with the edit session simply move things around. I hope you enjoyed that.
And then what do I want to just move it?
Hey Tom, how did you split the different colors on the parking garage and the high rise?
Give me a moment.
Okay.
It was moving.